Hey guys, I'm James Juke. I am a music producer and DJ based in Brooklyn, New York. Over the last few years, many of my favorite conversations with people have been over a glass of wine. So that's why I created the Juiceboxx. Every episode, I invite a very special guest to talk about the dance music scene here in New York and around the world. And naturally, we get into a lot more, from behind the scenes experiences to hot takes. So let's get into it.
I just need a beat right now. I just wanna feel a beat. Need a beat right now. I just wanna hear a beat. Need a beat right now. I just wanna feel a beat. Need a beat right now.
Hey everyone, this is episode number 2 of the Juiceboxx, and we'll change the scene. The episode 1 was at St. Jardim. We are now around the corner at Fedora, beautiful restaurant here in the West Village, and I have Omer Mil here, amazing DJ and kind of person in the scene here, and it actually is a very kind of significant place for us to be too, in that his older brother is one of the partners here, and it's month 4 of this restaurant, and now we're getting to have a conversation here. So I guess to get things started, got some wine. You mentioned you like chilled reds, and we happen to have
right on the table.
some Vin de Fedora.
Oh,
This is a wine that was made especially for this restaurant here.
I didn't even know about
And
this.
yeah, it's from Noël Moreton, makes wine in Toron in the Loire Valley, and this is 100% Gamay.
Oh, nice.
And it's a really delicious chilled red. So I felt, for a lot of reasons, this wine made sense for tonight.
Yeah, for sure.
I know that I've served you wine in here, and that's why when I sent you a text and I said I figured I'd probably know what direction you want to go, it was going to be a chilled red. I was considering fully just surprising you and going...
That would have been fine too. I mean, I like many colors, but I just like, Monday. Just, nice
keep
chilled
it
red.
easy.
Yeah.
We have a last little kiss of summer here.
No, for sure.
No, I know. I mean, you've been able to get, I feel like, probably a decent wine education from your brother, no?
I have. I feel like I still don't know anything about wine, but I mean,
You enjoy to drink it?
I just, yeah, exactly. I know. I like if I know if I enjoy it or not, which is pretty much.
I think that's the only. No, I literally, my dad, when he was first giving me like wine education, was like, I mean, he doesn't even know that much, but he likes drinking wine. But he's like,
Right.
if you like it, it's good. I'm like, it's really
wine,
that
exactly,
simple.
yeah.
So, cheers. Great to have you here.
Thanks for having me.
Oh,
and,
it definitely has that nice barnyardy, savory smell.
Oh wow,
That's fucking delicious.
that's good. It's
Isn't that really good?
Oh wow.
I love this wine. And I guess, that's Vin de Fedora. It's also like a play on Vin de France, the VDF.
Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of a perfect little wine. And I guess there's no real segue here, but I guess I'm very curious, kind of, obviously I'm sure, some people won't be familiar with who you are. We have definitely some overlapping kind of network of DJs and friends in the scene, because, it is like as big as New York is. It's,
Right.
the underground's usually pretty small.
Right.
But I'd be curious kind of how you kind of landed, first of all in New York, and then kind of, connected with the scene here. Because I know you had spent some time kind of in your life, like living in New York, but also in France, and kind of...
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, I'm born in Paris. But I grew up in New York. I was in New York from 6 to 12. And then moved back but yeah, I was 6 to 12 years old. I was in New York. I feel like that's kind of when I like really started to like listen deeply to music, like hip hop. I think mostly I was like, like going to Times Square as a kid, like buying bootleg like Jay-Z
No
CDs
way.
and
Okay.
listening to, it's like just CD players and stuff.
Yeah.
And then went back to France as a teenager. I was studying there. I was also doing some like I studied abroad a little bit, like in Holland, where I started DJing actually.
Oh, in Holland.
Yeah, I mean, I started DJing with my friends in Paris
Yeah.
that I met in high school. We were just like exchanging music a lot, and then just we started like playing on with records, collecting records, sharing them, and then yeah, I did a semester in Rotterdam. They have like a really good record store there, where I was like just collecting records like every week, and yeah, learning how to beat match.
Was it always just like interested in playing vinyl? Was that kind of or
Vine. It wasn't. It was for sure just the music itself. The
yeah.
format kind of came after. Yeah, I just thought it was cool to have like a physical, record.
Yeah. I mean, because it sounds like, yeah, kind of getting started like in a record store is like, a lot of
Yeah.
people have that story, but like, I think fewer and fewer people, I don't know now, at least like for me,
Yeah.
it's like, I don't know, my start was more like, just digging on, on YouTube and random
For sure.
sets and all,
Oh,
and I'm
me
sure you do
too.
that too.
Yeah, for
but
sure.
like, I don't know, I kind of, maybe I like romanticize it, but kind of like glorify just, I don't know, like kind of
Right.
really getting started by actually just like touching something and like,
Yeah,
seeing,
yeah,
because
yeah.
there's also,
No, I think my start was more also like
Okay.
yeah, like I said, CDs
Yeah.
and then then you had the just downloading songs and like the YouTube
Yeah,
era and
legally, though.
everything.
Yeah.
legally. And but then I just like the physical aspect and just starting to DJ just with turntables at 1st. And which I think is the best education because it's just you just use your ear. So once you know how to like use like beat match with records, you could
do that on a
anything.
CDJ.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, and then
When did you move back to?
so
New York.
I moved back to New York 8 years ago.
Okay. And
Yeah.
at that point, had you been kind of playing a
Yeah,
bit in Paris or
For sure, yeah. So with those friends of mine and I went to high school with, we were just DJing more and more. Like first it was house parties, then it was like bars, and then like we played in some cool venues. We started a record label. We were kind of like
Was
dabbling.
this like An Art or something?
Art, exactly, yeah.
Okay, because I was like looking back on your like earliest like Instagram posts and like and on RA2, and it's for the first couple bookings, it was like An Art or like some, so that was kind of like the collective.
Yeah, An Art is like a label and like collective we started with my two friends, and so we would mainly just DJ all three of us all the time. And we started producing, and we're like, oh, we should. We started this vinyl only record label, and we just released like 3 records. We had my friend that was in the collective. His brother started an art gallery.
Oh, sick.
So it was amazing because we had access to great artists who like did our like covers, and we were like spinning for like the art openings and stuff.
Wow. And you were like releasing real
Yeah, we were
physical,
releasing,
like doing
yeah.
like 100 kind of.
Exactly, like small, sometimes even 300.
Nice.
Because it's cheaper.
Yeah, no,
But,
exactly. But like, like kind of,
yeah.
and then just like doing a lot of through kind of just the local stores, like word of mouth,
Yeah.
kind of like.
And then
It's
and
not
we-
easy
we-
to build a label.
Yeah.
Especially then, I feel like it's even. I don't know. I'm sure there may be things that made it easier, but it's like, I don't know. Just
I
thinking,
think just doing it with friends and made
Yeah.
it fun made it easier, and then we started to play in cool places. Like back in the days, it was concrete. I don't know if you heard
Concrete?
of
Okay, I
that.
have
There's,
heard this,
like,
yeah.
It's this really huge, like nice boat where you had like proper sound and like
That's sick.
amazing lineup. So yeah, I started. We had a little thing going in Paris, and then I decided to move back to New York. But my brother Bazil moved a few years before that, and since I was kind of sad to go back to France when I was 12, and I always felt like I wanted to
like missed out on something.
Yeah,
almost.
exactly. So at least like go back a little.
And what was the intention to always kind of, dive into the like music world here, or like
Yes,
when
I
you
mean,
first landed, like what did you? I don't know. Did you have?
I
What
mean,
were your hopes or
it
expectations?
was obviously it was New York City, so I had
Yeah.
to like I had to get money in. So I started in hospitality, which I also started a bit in France. I was like bartending a bit in the same restaurant as where Bazil started.
Actually?
Yeah.
Crazy.
And so I was working in hospitality. I was actually a server at Soho House for
I don't
like
think I knew that.
6 months when I
Wow.
first moved in.
Wow.
And yeah, then I was also I like met some French friends. Obviously, like there's the community thing that always happens when you move to a city. And I was playing a house party where I met like a promoter that was opening a speakeasy club at Casa Mezcal back in the days. And yeah, so that's where he just liked my music, and I had my first residency there. So that's when I first started to DJ in New York. And being a server at Soho House, actually, I met.
Did you network?
Exactly, I met like there was DJs every day there, and there's one of them, Jared Disco Nuts, who was playing, you know him,
yeah,
and he was playing just like similar records, so we just bonded off of that, and then I invited him to play at the residency I had, and we just became friends, and he introduced me to other
Was he already
local
involved
DJs.
with like kind of some of the like razor and tape world and like stuff
Not
there?
yet.
Okay.
He was doing, but
Funky
he was doing
Szechuan,
some
was
parties
that,
like he had already Funky Szechuan with
Willie's.
they were doing parties
Yeah.
at Good Room. And
Okay.
So yeah, they already had their feet in the scene.
Yeah.
So yeah.
So would you say like he was kind of like the most important kind
I
of
would
first
say, I think
person, like
I think
the
he-
open doors
for
and
sure,
kinda-
for kind of like the like house, disco kind of scene for sure.
yeah,
Yeah. And yeah, and then
kind of from there it kind of
Exactly.
evolved, because I feel like often you kind of need to have that like first person who kind of can validate what you're doing, and then
Yeah.
also like someone who already has their foot in the
Right.
scene, because you kind of need that, because I think there's like I think
Right.
importantly some like gatekeepers, and there's always going to kind of be that, and I think the culture kind of needs that, but not
Yeah.
in excess, because then you have
yeah.
no new blood coming in, or no
Right.
it can get a little stale. But I think it's nice when you can find a person who you genuinely just like, oh, we
Yeah.
like each other's music. Like
Yeah. But that's what I love about just sharing that passion is everywhere you go, you kind of connect through that. Like I mentioned Rotterdam, that was the same thing. I met some friends that were just working at that record store. I was just looking for music, So it's like easy and nice to just connect with that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I guess what inspired you to then kind of I guess around 2019 or so, like create your own party too? Because I imagine this was still early, what, a year or two
Yeah, that
after you
was-
moved here, or like 2 years kind of in?
Yeah, pretty
Yeah.
much. That's I guess when I started DJing here, I saw some different collectives and I got inspired. And Bazil also mentioned it because he was working as a sommelier in New York, and he was like, "Oh, we should." And he used to be a promoter like way
Really?
in Paris.
Okay, I need to ask
some
him about
early like for like when you're like 16.
That's so
like tectonic era stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, so we just thought it would be great to join forces,
Yeah.
and I would
And give people a little
curate-
context who aren't familiar with your kind
Yeah.
of party. Yeah.
So so we started vinyl. It's like vin in French, which means wine, and vinyl obviously because I had that passion for records, and my brother had the passion for natural wines. So we decided to just do a DIY party where I would curate more the music, the lineup, and he would curate the bar. And it was not only we would have cocktails because like people don't only want to
For sure. Was it like hard to, I guess in the early days, like especially you being like a pretty new New Yorker, and I'm sure still like finding the community of people, and I'm sure your brother had some connections and stuff, but I feel like a lot of my fear of like kind of building more of a DIY party, and as I've kind of like slowly built my own party, is kind of like, how can I really bring people, like mobilize,
Yeah.
like find, and I'm sure it's like it takes time, you have to find the
It
community.
takes
but-
time. It's not easy. It's a lot of work for sure.
Yeah. But, like, how'd you go about it? Did you have like a real plan? Or?
I think it's more like you just find a venue. The venue is definitely key. Our first one, it was like in this kind of warehouse in Greenpoint, and we were like, all right, we gotta just bring. I started to like invest in sound systems.
You already
also.
at that point?
Yeah, it wasn't the one I have
Okay.
now, but yes, because you just brought sound and just create everything.
Yeah. So was that like obviously you love sound. I mean, I so like you have, kind of now you're, like where you more professionally rent out like your sound system. But like I didn't realize how early on in your like kind of career and time in New York
I kind of always, even like starting producing, I just like good quality sound, and it was kind of missing in New York, like a few years back. Like you would often just hear terrible sound everywhere, most of the places.
We've all been there.
Yeah, exactly. So it was just
and even seeing great DJs or people who you expect, like feel like deserve like this better sound. You're kind of like,
well, because it's it's hard to, it's expensive, and even good sound is now it's getting easier, but it was kind of hard to even like purchase, but I had a connection of a friend of mine that was in high school in Paris, actually, that was working with this brand Loud Professional. It's really good Italian brand, and he was just a vendor, and he set up that sound system in that speakeasy. I started my first residency, so then I was like, I wanted to have some good sound for my party, so I reached out to him. And it was great because he was able to like give me. I started with just a few speakers, but they're still pretty expensive. So I was, he was like, you could pay me off,
over time.
Which,
that's awesome.
Made it
I'm
possible.
sure,
So that was fortunate for sure, and
I'm sure it made a difference in like the people actually really enjoying the party too, because they get there and they're like, wait, like I wasn't expecting, especially at DIY parties, like it's not always...
good quality sound. Even people who are not DJs or into that
can appreciate.
They don't realize it, but they would dance much easier because it's not just about the music. It's also like the quality of the sound, and and from there, like it was just from my parties and just to have, and then my friends were like, we like your sound system. Can we rent it for our parties? And then that's when I was like, maybe there's something there,
That's when the real entrepreneur side came out.
And then and I was like, all right, I'm just gonna start my own business and do this a little more serious, invested more, bigger speakers, bigger stacks,
and now you have I mean, it feels like there's like a pretty good demand too. I imagine,
Yeah, for sure. There's
for different, like I feel like there's a lot of applications too. Whether it's a party or even just other, I don't know, maybe even corporate kind of stuff. Like I feel like there's.
Yeah, exactly. It could be, any kind of events.
Yeah.
New York, you have so many, opportunities, venues, type of events. Yeah, like you said, corporate. Like or just underground DIY.
And I guess like speaking of sound, I'd be curious how you feel like your personal kind of style or sound has like developed over the last 8 years since you've been in New York, or even like 10 years. Like you mentioned early influence of like hip hop, and like I associate you with like a very kind of just like honest like house sound, inspired, very like deep and soulful and inspired by just like a lot of kind of the real legends of the game. And like
for sure,
I'd be curious how you'd maybe describe your sound and kind of how it's changed, or if living in New York and being exposed to maybe other underground stuff here, if that's like shaped it.
I've always kind of had a passion for a big variety of music. I think that's maybe where I'm like a little more niche, because I guess hip hop was maybe my first love, when I was growing up here, and then I discovered electronic music, house music in Paris, and all those different subgenres, and just like everything, reggae, Latin music, African music, absolutely love, and just dance music and combining all these different elements into dance music. And where I have the most fun when I play is just kind of, I just spend so much time listening to different type of music, so just kind of sharing that, and not only do one like soulful house or whatever, every kind of, just make the more I mix it in a set, the more I feel fulfilled. And like but it grew over the years.
Would you say your most recent set, like how would you describe your set with Charisma recently, because it sounded like you, I don't know, that was like a pretty special like set, you know, because I feel like we all have those moments where like you feel like, that's kind of me distilled right now, or at least it was in that moment, and like, what did that feel like?
That was amazing. Yeah, playing before Charisma was that was an amazing party. And
had you played with him before?
I did actually.
Okay.
We invited him for my birthday a couple months ago.
Sick.
And he's an amazing producer and DJ.
Yeah.
And I play a lot of his music, so it was a real honor. Yeah, that said, I enjoyed it a lot. Yeah, because it was 3.5 hours. So
you really got to. Do you feel like you did kind of get to go between all of?
I feel like you kind of need longer hours to really, like, your first hour. You're just kind of
getting in the rhythm and figuring out what works in this room on this system for this particular crowd that's here that night. Like all of those things.
Yeah,
and I feel like it should almost be like a minimum. Anything under 3 hours, like I get it. Sometimes it has to be an hour and a half or 2 hours, but like I don't know. It just feels
there's more and more DJs, everywhere. So people are just trying
try to
fit in, and I feel that's what's lacking today.
I was gonna. What's your vision?
Longer sets,
fewer DJs, kind of longer parties, so it can still be a more. I don't know, because that happens too. I feel
but that's the tricky part, because then it's 4 a.m. license. So, but then you have to go to underground parties where it's late. But
do you feel like for you, the kind of like vision or dream would almost be more just like you and another artist, kind of maybe if it's a 6-hour party, kind of each playing for 3 hours, if it's an 8-hour party, both for 4 hours, like would that kind of be your like sweet spot? Like
I think so. Yeah, you can really express yourself. You're like, you get more and more comfortable, and then I think so. 2 hours is short. Honestly,
it really does go by.
Yeah.
What's I was curious too, as you were talking about kind of the, obviously what you've like created with your own party and kind of the association early on with like, Funky Szechuan, kind of, what those guys have built. I feel like I also really associate you with like Golden Record.
Yeah.
Like how did that kind of come about?
So that was actually thanks to Funky Szechuan as well. We did their 5-year anniversary with Golden Record. Mm-hmm. It was at the Elm Foundation, really nice warehouse in Greenpoint. And I was, Nick from Golden Record was he has his own sound system from Gold, and he had his room, and it was kind of like a Funky Szechuan room where we put my sound system. And I think we connected from there, and we have just like similar taste in music and just sound quality. So I'm grateful to have met Nick and kind of been able to work more and more together in different projects.
It seems like I've gone to a few of those parties, and it does feel like it's a pretty special part. It's like I feel like there's not much else in the scene that like really occupies that space, where it is just like it's very underground, it's very authentic, and it's just like
it's about the music.
It's about the music, and it's like I'm always so impressed by like who they're booking, whether it's the like local talent or the headliners are always people that like whose music I'm playing a lot, or who like I would like kind of drop everything to see wherever it's like, which is kind of special. It's like
for sure, definitely an amazing amazing bookings and vision and drive.
And I'm sure kind of that inspires you with your own party too, and getting to like learn from someone who's been able to do it for what now 10 years. Did they just have and that's amazing.
No, definitely.
What else do you feel like is inspiring you these days too? Like, are there any kind of, and this I guess could be broad, whether it's like other kind of producers or DJs that like you've been, inspired by, whether that's like local or not, or even like other parties or communities or just something in the scene. Like I'm always very curious to hear what's like.
That's what I love about New York, is just being constantly inspired, meeting new people that have similar interests and drive, and just how they evolve. That's just that's always been inspiring.
Do you feel like you've been able to? I don't know. I feel like I've heard a lot of conversation with, there's always going to be kind of people who feel maybe a little jaded with whatever this scene is, or like kind of have a maybe kind of romantic look at like what it's like in Mexico City or Europe or and like I don't know, it sounds like you don't, I mean I'm sure you can appreciate and like have some kind of a foot maybe in some of these places and kind of have friends or kind of are aware of what it's like, but do you feel like I don't know. Would you agree that you feel like there's something maybe in, say, like some of that kind of like small festival circuit in Europe that you can't really capture here in New York? Or like, I don't know, do you feel like kind of New York, I guess, almost like does have it all, and like if you look hard enough, you can find it here? Or kind of how do you think
I
about
don't think
those
if I
things?
could
Yeah.
if I could really judge that in
Yeah.
that scale, I feel like um yeah, all cities have their saying, you know. I'm not gonna say New York is the best, and even though maybe I feel like, but you know, it's also because I've been here for so long and I have this love for it. But I actually just I do want to travel a little more, like go back to Berlin. I haven't been in a while, and you know,
Have
check
you
out.
ever played there?
I've never played there. I only been there once when I was like 18.
Oh, so you haven't
Yeah.
really gotten
Right.
to.
Yeah, that's right. I feel like I need to
You need
go
to go
back.
play Heide
Yeah.
Gloon.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, every city has their thing. Yeah, I play in Mexico sometimes.
yeah.
It's really nice. I mean, the location is nice, you know. You're, yeah. But
I do feel like most places, like, I've also maybe done this myself where I can, if I'm ever feeling like, maybe I just like came back from a trip somewhere and it was like awesome. And I felt like I like discovered this beautiful
Right.
little slice of something. And then maybe
Right.
it's been a few months since I've like had a moment in New York where I've been like, oh, that was like what I've been like seeking out. And I feel like it can almost be like
right.
a little easy to become kind of jaded with
Yeah.
wherever you are, like whatever the status quo is. But I feel
sure.
like everyone kind of, the
Yeah.
conversation, like I think a part, something for me that recently was like helped me kind of change my perspective a bit is I had a friend actually visiting from Berlin, and she was like the person who helped me get my first gig there, and is just someone who I like, kind of appreciate as an artist and a person,
Nice.
and she's become a friend. But she was visiting New York, and I think I sometimes forget that people when they visit New York, it's like, this is New York.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
it's like I
yeah.
almost take for granted that we like live
I
here,
know.
but it's like when people come, like my friends like
Yeah.
Gomez, like Robin and Julian, who are like in Hamburg, it's like when they're here, it's like, you want to be here. And it's
sure.
like even like the guys from one of the guys from Rudimental, like in the UK, and like another guy who runs this label Soul Quest, was like out here in New York, and yeah, they spent like a whole day just like crate digging and just like going crazy.
sure, yeah,
And
yeah.
like that's a beautiful thing. But like I guess all that to say, I had this moment at like nowadays it was like a Mr. Sunday party, and like if I'm not mistaken, Avalon Emerson was playing, and
Nice.
I just like, and it was just a very one of those special parties where everything kind of comes together. Like the music, it started raining a bit. Like the crowd was great, and like she was
Love
just
when
like,
that
that's one of the
happens.
best parties I've been to in a long time. And
Yeah.
like, hearing kind of her say that was kind of like, okay, it's
Yeah.
like I think sometimes we can get a little,
Yeah,
you know.
'cause then you get those standards, you know. like,
Yeah.
you get to have high standards, but no, it's also nice to get away from New York sometimes, because like it's crazy.
yeah. What would be like a dream booking for you, or like a kind of like dream gig?
Like
I guess I'd be curious, like here in New York.
here in New York, I've never played nowadays. Actually,
Hmm.
I'm sure I would enjoy. There's
That feels like it should just happen. Let's
yeah, but no, I
let's
mean,
get Jada Lorraine on the phone.
yeah, I mean, I'm pretty happy with how things are, unfolding in New York.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like there's so many venues opening. left
Yeah,
and
I know it
right.
feels like Signal's been a pretty awesome place for just like,
Yeah,
kind of
yeah, no,
the scene that you're involved in, especially, and just for a lot. I feel like there's been a
Right.
kind of nice diversity of stuff happening there.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good time right now.
And whether it's someone like
Just here
Tony
covering
Humphries
it.
playing there, or like the
Exactly,
real
yeah.
kind of minimal stuff, like it's pretty cool.
Yeah, you have like a lot of options.
Yeah, exactly.
No, it's good.
I feel like I've heard a lot about just kind of what you're building and kind of what you've built, and I'm curious, is there anything like for you kind of coming up that you're especially excited about, or are you planning another vinyl party, or is it
I am kind of a last minute one actually.
Okay.
This Saturday.
this really?
Yeah. At the same spot at 333 Stag.
Okay.
With Javon.
Oh, sick.
So I'm looking forward to that.
Nice.
But just kind of things happen naturally, and I'm pretty excited about. There's definitely new venues opening, so I'm
Yeah.
excited about that. Maybe being involved in them, maybe actually setting the sound system. Also, so yeah, just kind of
what's gonna come.
Yeah, you seem
the next
like
year.
excited about what.
Yeah, because
could be.
that's what I like about this scene is everyone's kind of evolving. You know, you have friends that are opening, new venues, and everyone's kind of leveling up. So, being around that is both inspiring. More opportunities are gonna come.
Yeah, I think that is the cool thing about being somewhere longer is it's like, obviously you build deeper roots, but then you see people get farther along in their own career. So it is like someone like you maybe knew when they were just starting to DJ or now like headlining somewhere cool or maybe starting their own venue or party. And it's like, it is I think that is what makes a place like really mean something.
For sure. No, definitely.
Wow, that's so cool.
Yeah.
I did save a couple questions for the end that are maybe not fully music related that I just simply must know. So, why have you not ridden the MTA in many years? If that is true, this is what my intel says. Why are you so averse? Subway? How the fuck do you get around anywhere?
Oh, I mean, I drive mostly. I
love traffic? Is it just you should move to LA?
No, LA is too long. It was just sit in the car for way too long.
So you drive everywhere?
Yeah, I pretty much. I mean, I had to get a vehicle just because I'm driving
moving
equipment back and forth, and that's true. Since then, it's hard to go back to taking the subway. No, but I bike when I'm like in my neighborhood.
Okay.
But other than that.
That's so funny. I'm like, for me, and I feel like, I mean, you do meet those New Yorkers, though, that just, like, never take the subway. I don't really meet them that often. So when I heard this, I was like, this is crazy. That's, like, my whole life. But I don't know. I do get it. Like, once you get a car, and it's kind of like...
That's the thing. You want to...
Yeah.
It costs a lot
do
of money,
you really enjoy cars? Are you kind of like a...
Yeah, I do.
Like a thing?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not like...
Would you invest someday, though, in like a... Like, are you like a... I don't know, a car guy? I just grew up... Like, my grandpa's like...
Yeah.
Is a really big like car person. I'm always kind of curious if it's like.
No, I like nice things.
You're like exactly. I feel like good wine, good speaker system. It's like you'll have your little Porsche someday or something. What would you drive?
Yeah, Porsche.
Okay. And I guess it sounds like in the car you might have like a furry companion or something, or maybe a whole zoo behind you. I know you're quite the animal guy.
Yeah, I have a beagle that I love. So yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I heard though you're like have you always been a big animal guy? I heard didn't you have some like other furry friends that like killed each other and kind of mutiny?
Yeah, I mean, I always loved animals, and my
Did your parents want you to be a veterinarian? Was that
I had a phase like that. No, my parents didn't want any pets, so I went to buy a mouse actually, because that was like the only thing.
You were gonna say a rat. I was
buy.
like, just go outside.
I could buy, and I had a mouse in my closet for a sec, and then 2 days went by, and I had to tell my mom, and then I got like a hamster or whatever, and just kind of like,
that's
because that was the only thing I could, have pretty much or push for.
Yeah.
But
now you got a dog, and now you're a happy
guy.
Now you're a grown-ass
get my
guy.
dog.
The speaker system, your records, and your dog. And so that's happy Omer.
Yeah, that's like a happy life.
Oh, amazing. Well, thank you so
Do you have
much
any
for.
pets?
Oh, me, my turn. I'm on. Oh my goodness. I have
can't
two
ask
cats.
any questions?
No, you can. I have two cats. I was never a cat guy. I actually used to kind of like not like actively not really like cats. I feel like I never really understood them. I didn't really have like friends who had cats or anything. And then my fiance Brielle's like loves cats.
Nice.
And I acquiesced to the first cat, and then I was, I think, an active proponent of a second cat. So now we have two. And now I feel like I'm actually not much of like a dog guy anymore, which is kind of, I feel like, I don't know. I feel like especially in New York, I'm like, I can't imagine having a fucking dog in my apartment. I mean, people do it. So I have like one of my best friends.
I have
has
a backyard that helps. If I didn't have that, I think it would be, challenging.
Yeah.
You got it. Yeah.
No, I'm definitely team cat. And then I was just in Montana a few weeks ago and got to ride horses, and I'm like,
Oh, nice.
maybe the life I need someday is actually more of a ranch life. Get to have
That's
a
nice.
horse, and
That
I'm like,
sounds-
this.
that
I
sounds-
mean, have you ridden a horse?
I have,
Okay.
yeah, actually, yeah.
I mean, that's,
Actually,
I feel,
my
for me, it was like an
uncle-
amazing experience. Like,
My uncle was a teacher actually for horseback riding,
No
so
way.
I was horseback riding when I was younger.
you know, the next thing we're this conversation is gonna inspire someone to be fucking like DJing on a horse. That's the next thing we're gonna see.
Never seen this before.
That's the
I
thing.
was-
Trying to find a new thing that
Yeah.
someone hasn't done in the past.
Oh, that's so silly. All right. Well, thank you for this
Thank
awesome
you.
conversation. It was
Thanks
great.
Thanks for having me here.
Yeah, I got to,
My
you know,
favorite restaurant in New York.
yes, you gotta, yeah, we were in Fedora if you didn't see. This is, the kind of corner little booth, and you should come in and have a cordon bleu
Absolutely.
and
Delicious.
whatever you want. Amazing wine.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe
Really
you'll
good.
see us here. So some good company too.